Hey guys, welcome to episode 2 of the Ask Alex podcast. Today we've got a fantastic question which I think will be applicable to everyone. It comes from Steve in London, who asks, what is your advice for newbie entrepreneurs? Thanks for that, Steve. Now, if you want one piece of advice, it's this: focus. I know you're going to ignore me and learn that lesson yourself the hard way, though. No matter how much you think you're focusing, you are still not focusing enough. You can still reduce all your plans down by a factor of 10. Do not create construction sites. Anything you start, you have to actually finish. If you ask yourself, I only have one day to live and I need to ship the absolutely most critical things to validate my startup, what should I actually be doing? And my guess is it's not one of the 200 things that you would like to do and maybe trying to do concurrently. You need to be more aware of your own mortality. It's likely that you're going to live longer than your startup is, so you don't internalize how short of a lifespan your baby has. You're default dead when you're not profitable. You have, at most a year to live, even with VC funding. So you have to focus and deliver real results. Now, if you want some other advice, let's go with it. So 1, the market always wins. It doesn't matter what you do if you've got a crappy market. Pick a big market that's growing fast or will grow fast, and assuming that you're perfectly positioned for that, right? But you need to have a big market. And that's why VCs always want you to have like $1 billion plus market, because what's the point of having 100% ownership of $1 million market? I mean, it's great if you're bootstrapped or your lifestyle business, but that doesn't move the needle for VCs. So start small, but have a big vision of where you'd like to go. Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg started in the dorm room in Harvard, and Facebook's now one of the biggest companies in the whole world. He started small, just on one campus, then went to more campuses, and then progressively ended up with billions of people online. But just start small and make those people really happy. So it's better to have 100 people who think you're just totally dope than 100,000 people who are sort of ambivalent and would easily just change your product for something else. It's not defensible, right? But start small, figure it out, and build bigger. Listen, especially if you're really bright, you're really smart, okay? The people who are the brightest tend to listen the least. They say you have 2 ears and you've got 1 mouth. And look, arrogance can kill you. Just act like you're really dumb. You don't know anything. Ask questions, pay attention, listen. You'll be surprised by what you learn, but you have to keep challenging these assumptions that you're held, right? They say strong opinions loosely held, right? Kill your darlings. Now, 4, get shit done. At Groupon, we used to say, don't think, just do. Like, you need to ship things and get it done. Like, don't intellectualize too much. I think it's best to figure out your plan once and then just execute it, right? Just keep getting things done until you reach a new milestone and then question, are we really rowing in the right direction? But don't overcomplicate things. A lot of people give shit about Uber and Zenefits being, madhouses, crazy places to work. But what do you think it takes to build a big company, right? You need to do things, even if it's not perfect. Clearly, as you evolve and you get later stage, sure, you can have fancy bureaucratic processes, but when you're starting out, you just need to get things done. Now, 5, ship earlier. You make money from customers. You don't know if you're doing well, if your customers are not having the opportunity or ability to actually pay you for it. Now, another 6 months of making something better doesn't actually give you the feedback or insights that you need. Someone once said, you need to launch when you're embarrassed about the product. And if you're not embarrassed by your product, then you've launched too late. Now, I've written a useful blog which talks about some of the other reasons to launch faster that people don't talk about. I'll put a link to that down below. Now, 6, VC does not solve problems. If you have problems, then taking VC money is actually just going to make them worse. It's going to exacerbate the situation. And you will also lose control of your company. The processes, the fundamentals of your business model are fundamentally not going to be solved by taking on money, right? And you're going to have added pressure where you're going to need to grow. And you don't want to put yourself into that situation until you're ready for it. Now, 7, understand the problem. Do not find a solution or technology and then go looking for a problem to solve with it. That's a terrible idea. You're going to fail. You have to truly understand the problem that your customer really deeply has. Ideally, you want to be your own customer. You want to be solving a problem that you have, scratching your own itch. Then you actually truly understand that problem. You can name it. You need to know who your customers are and go talk to them. You need to get out of the fucking building, as Steve Blank would say. 8, team. Your team matters. So start with the right people and it'll make it easier to continue to build a quality team. They say A players hire A players, B hires C, C hire D. That's what they call a bozo explosion or a death dump spiral. Finding amazing co-founders will likely be the biggest pain in the ass and the barrier for you to really get started. It's rare for this to truly be easy, and nothing will kill your startup faster than co-founders that don't trust each other. So that founding team is really the foundation of your startup, and it'll set the tone for what you build in the coming years. Now, second last one, number 9. Learn every day, but for the stage that you are at. Now, as a workaholic, I can tell you that there is never going to be time tomorrow to read that really interesting research report that you got that would, really give you fascinating knowledge and insights. You will find another interesting one the next day and the next day, and it'll end up piling up into a downloads folder that you'll never actually read. Now, that knowledge is not in your head. So don't be perfect. If you find something that's interesting, just skim through it, get that learning, and then dispose of it. But be okay with that sunk cost. The difference between a newbie founder and an expert is years and years of reading and learning and doing to get smarter. You're only smarter if you put that work in today. If you're just starting out and you don't know how to hire a VP of sales, then you need to learn how to do basic sales yourself and how to sell the product so that you can actually teach that VP of sales if you get to that stage. Knowledge is only useful if it helps you solve a problem that you have today, because you may be dead to tomorrow. So learn every single day, but what you need to. Don't, figure out how to scale your architecture to 25 million users when you don't even have 2 yet. Now, last piece of advice is your business model and your strategy are critical. The difference between an amazing startup and whatever is this. There are only a few variations of models. You're unlikely to invent something special. The answer is already out there. It's just a matter of figuring out what business model and strategy applies to your startup, your circumstances. It really doesn't matter how much you wave your arms around if you're not working in the right direction. Otherwise, you're just lost. But a right strategy with the right business model can really make your business pop. I mean, Zenefits is a fab example of that. If you don't know, Zenefits, well, they've been in the news for a couple of bad reasons, including the exit of the founder, but they dealt with getting insurance for companies. And that may sound like, an old, boring industry, and it is. Where they really innovated was in providing free, awesome software and then monetizing them on the brokerage on the back end. And that was just like an amazing business model that was so unfair that they got fought state by state and even banned, I believe, in the state of Utah. Thanks a lot for your questions, Steve. And thank you so much, guys, for listening to me today. I know that there's 100 other things you could be spending your time on, and I'm just so blessed that you chose to spend it to me. Thank you very much, and look forward to chatting again the next episode, guys. Bye.